So I've been saying a lot lately that if I had to start over with a construction company, I would do a different business model. And so that's what this video is about. And just for context, I'm 50% owner in my family's remodeling company. And so I was not born into this business, but this business has basically been a part of me since I was in my teens. And it was in my early 30s that I actually became a partner in the business and started taking responsibility for it and what it is. And early on in my remodeling career, I recognized that it can be difficult to get leads. And that's because we don't want 90% of the leads out there. We only want the leads for the nice kitchens, the nice bathrooms, the whole house renovations, the basement finishing, the additions. We want big jobs because big jobs is where the money's at. We don't want little jobs because it's a lot of work and overhead that goes into doing just a little job. And so we turn down a lot, and we just miss out on a lot of the opportunities that are out there. And it was about 8 years ago that I started my second business, Adapt Digital Solutions. And our mission from day one was to give contractors like myself, like my father, the best marketing services available. And over that 8 years, I've worked with hundreds upon hundreds of different companies across the country and Canada even. And I've got to see all different business models, and I've gotten to do the marketing for all these different business models. And so my perspective has changed quite a bit. And I've been saying a lot lately that if I had to start over, I wouldn't even necessarily advertise remodeling. I would focus on those little jobs. I'd go after those little jobs. And so, a couple months ago, I started saying I would advertise handyman services. I would, go do the little tiny 1 hour jobs, like the smaller, the better, because the whole business model is that I would go in, and me being the owner of the company, I'm often the most excited to work every day. I have the most to lose, so I do a good job. I care about my customers because this is my customer, my business, my reputation. So I typically do a really good job, and people love me. They love letting me into their home, and I'm very respectful, and I do a great job, and I care about them. And so when you do remodels, let's say you do big remodels, and you do 12 big jobs a year, that's 12 customers that you get each year. And that's 12 opportunities to get a review on your Google listing. And that's 12 people who can have you back to do more work, and 12 people who can refer you out to other people. Only 12. But if you are a handyman and you do small services, things that you could do 2 or 3 in a day, you can end the year with 100, 200, maybe even 300 customers. So now you have 300 opportunities to get a review, to get referrals, to get repeat work. And if you've been in business for any amount of time, that's where the money's at. The money's in your customers, the people who already know you, know what you do, trust you, and will call you back to do things for them. That's where the money's at. And so the business model I would go after is I would focus on those small services and just make it super clear to all of my happy customers that I need a review, that I appreciate referrals, and that I can do all these other things for them, including the big remodel jobs and the additions. And, just looking back at Kile Construction, the remodeling company, the majority of our work for the last 10 years has just been repeat customers. We have customers that have had us back to do multiple large projects. We've had multiple customers pay us to renovate their entire house, the entire thing. There's nothing in there we haven't touched. So so that's where the money's at, and that's what I would do if I was starting over. And in case you haven't noticed, like, the economy has changed a bit in the last year, and things are getting harder. People are less willing to spend money in general. They're more careful. They get more bids. Things are getting harder for contractors. And when the economy tightens up and people start holding on tighter to their money, they don't do as many large remodel projects. And so it can be harder to get those jobs. If you're relying on Google or advertising to get your big remodel jobs, there's just fewer of them going around. And just because there's fewer jobs this year than last year doesn't mean that there's fewer companies that want those jobs, right? And so my way of adapting to this is I'm actually doing what I said that I would do, and I'm starting what will be my fourth company now. So I had Kile Construction Remodeling, I had Adapt Digital Solutions, marketing for contractors. I started Quarterly Landscapers, which is a local landscaping company. I don't do a lot with it, but I still get leads, and I got a lead today, and I usually will just quote it really high so that if they actually want me to do it, it's worth the time and effort. And then the fourth company I'm starting is called Evergreen Property Services. And basically, it's just a catch-all. I want the ability to get any and every possible job there is related to anything properties, commercial, residential. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to market hard on everything and really hit those small jobs. And every single time I go to somebody's house, I'm going to have my flyer. If you haven't heard me talk about this, I've made a few videos about it, but I'm going to make another video soon when I actually make my new flyers and explain it. It's called the flyer method. Trademarked, not really trademarked, but so the flyer method is I'll have a flyer, a really badass flyer, has my picture on it, logo, phone number, website. There'll be a little QR code at the bottom that if somebody scans it with their phone, it takes them to leave a review. And on the main part of the flyer will be every single type of service that we can do. And so my flyer is going to be jam-packed. There's going to be like 50 things on there. There'll be as many things as I can fit. Because what I want is I want a review from everyone I talk to, if possible. And I want everyone I talk to know that I can do any and all of these things. So that as soon as they decide they like and trust me, especially after they leave a review, I want them to have me back to do anything and everything they ever need on their property. And so when somebody wants an estimate for a remodel, I'll kick it over to my remodeling company and let the guys handle that. But my job will be to go get the customers and take them off the market. Because every customer that I get that knows all the things I do and is going to call me next time they need any of it is another person that's not going to Google to find somebody else. And over time, I can have 1,000 or 2,000 property owners in this area who will call me for everything they need, and I will be fine. I don't care how bad the economy gets. If I have 1,000 people who are calling me for all this stuff, I'm never going to starve. And of course, I'm going to do all the normal marketing stuff. I'm going to do a secret shopper because my marketing team at Adapt doesn't know that I'm doing this. So I'm going to be a secret shopper, and I'm going to get them to do my marketing, and I'm going to document this whole thing. And so, I'm at a lot of different crossroads. I'm a remodeler, I'm a marketer, I have this YouTube channel, and now I'm starting a new company that's kind of like a do-everything company. And so I'm going to do my best to just document every step of the way and put it on YouTube so that you can follow along and just see how someone else is doing it. I don't know about you, but I learn the best from watching somebody do something. Like, you could explain something to me all day and I'll be totally lost. But if I see you do it one time, then I have it. So my goal with this is to let you see somebody actually doing the stuff for real And so you can see how easy it is. Like just earlier today, I settled in on the business name because I didn't know it was going to be Evergreen Property Services. I thought I wanted to do North Idaho Property Services, but that wasn't available. So in this video, I showed how I went to the Secretary of State website, looked up a few business names. I used AI to help me brainstorm other names, and Evergreen was like one of the first 5 ones I read. And when I read it, I liked it. And when I put it in, it was available. So I immediately went over to file the LLC. In like three minutes maybe, I got the LLC registration initiated, and boom. And so like there's a lot of you guys out there who've probably been thinking about registering an LLC for years. But when you see that I did it in 3 minutes, maybe that'll help you just take some action and just do it. Because at the end of the day, this stuff isn't that difficult. You just have to get moving. So Evergreen Property Services, this is the Genesis. What is it? April 17th, 2025. First day of the business. And I look forward to it. I think it's going to be fun. And I'm excited to be able to bring you along with me. So tune in, subscribe if you want to get alerted when I put out new videos. And we'll see you on the next one.